Hello. Well, Ulty down big in the pre-market. I don't know if this is some kind of train wreck or train crash. It's just unbelievable. Ulty's down over 1.5% in the pre-market. The other night, it dropped. It was like a flash crash. I believe it was margin liquidation, but who knows what it could be. Disclaimer: I'm not a financial advisor. This is purely for entertainment. You make your own decisions. Yesterday, Ulti went down, I would say about $2, $5.60 something. Then it went up to around 570 something. And I thought, you know what, maybe it's recovering. Maybe this was like somebody overseas getting a margin liquidation, which is different than a margin call. Margin call happens when you over leverage yourself and the brokerage that gave you margin decides either to change the margin maintenance amount or the stocks drop to a point where you are now in violation of your margin. And as most brokerages do, they only care about their money and they just force liquidate you. So yesterday I thought, okay, I own 52 yield max ETFs, one of them being Ulty. And I've sort of formulated, because I own it in my unregistered account and my two registered accounts, but only 3 shares in each. I had a lot more, but because the transfer agent, in my opinion, is not working in accordance with yield max, somebody's in violation there. I'll just hold it in my registered savings account, which is with the tax treaty between Canada and the United States, is not taxable. So I was thinking, okay, I'll sell off the 3 that I have in my non-registered account, 3 that I have in the TFSA, and then bump up the 3 that I have in my retirement account to 1,000. And that way, because the declaration was for 10 cents, I can get $100 a week, right? Which isn't bad. And I really don't care what the price does, well, to a point. However, right now in pre-market, Ulti's down over 1.5%, and the distribution hasn't been paid out. So as soon as today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday, as soon as it's paid out, the NAV is going to drop another 10 cents. If that's, you know, the way the cookie crumbles. Because this thing is just like a train going off a cliff. It's just horrible. It got down, from what I hear, to $4.59 during that forced liquidation. And that's what I'm assuming, because I'm not a financial planner. I don't have a, crystal ball. I don't have a soothsayer's license. I'm just going by what, in my opinion, I believe, right? So obviously I'm not going to buy into it. In the pre-market's gone down again. So it's now at 562, which is down 1.75% in the before you even can get to your account. From most of the people, if you have, there are different brokerages that allow you to pre-market trade, and That's what it looks like it's happening now. I I'm not buying Ulti. I'm not doing it. It's crazy. Like a couple months ago, I bought into it. My average cost, I think, it was around $6.20 something, right? And I bought thousands and thousands of shares of Ulti. Now, I was receiving distributions. Those distributions that I was told was a 100% return of capital. It's on their website. Was getting taxed, and I, I, I didn't like it. Didn't agree with it. I called on my brokerage. We wrote up some tickets. They're out for inquiry. However, uh, it was a failure of fiduciary responsibility by YieldMax. So, in my opinion, if you fail me in what you say, right, and what you do are two different things, then my ears go up, and I felt it was time. I was in the positive, even though I sold for less than what I bought it. The distributions minus the withholding tax, I was still up. But because I was trying to figure this all out, I kept a few shares. Like I said, 3 in each of the 3 accounts, which is 9 shares. And I was planning to bump it up to 1,000 and let it ride. But the ride on that train is crashing. It's, to me, uninvestable. There's no clarity. There's no consistency. Because if you think that this 10-cent distribution for this week of August 21st, right? Today is Thursday, August 21st, 2025. If you think that next week's going to be 10 cents, you're conducting the train that's crashing off the side of the mountain. The bridge is out. There, in my opinion, no way that they can maintain it. The nav loss alone is going to peter this thing out, and most likely it'll end up with a reverse stock split. It's not like a stock split when it's, say, 1 for 10 has nothing to do with anything other than it's a positive, right? The stock has gone up so high that they have to, for several reasons, one of them being the options market, right? If your stock is $2,000, it's almost impossible for the average person to placate or be able to invest in the derivatives market, because options are derivatives. If you are $5, right now it's $5.63. We, back in the day, used to call them single digit. What rhymes with digit? I'm not going to say it. So in this case, most likely it would be 4-1 or 5-1, which is the opposite of 1 to 10, right? We split 2,000. 1 to 10 makes the shares $200, and your 1,000 shares, let's say you have 1,000 shares, makes it 10,000 shares. It's a positive thing. Now, a reverse stock split, it's considered a negative thing, that your value has dropped so low that to stay listed, because there's a listing requirement for stock exchanges. If you go under $1, you're in big trouble. So if it's a 10-to-1, right? Same as the 1,000 went to 10,000. The 1,000 goes to 100. Now, mind you, your shares go up by 10 times. So in this case, if it's right now trading in the pre-market still at $5.63, it would then be $56.30. But the connotation, the subconscious reaction is negative, right? And people don't like it, and they get out of it, and then further drops the price. That's why I'm saying this is a train wreck. This is a train crash, right? The stock is dropping more than the distribution, and the distribution hasn't happened yet. Once the distribution happens, it's going to double the effect. So from what I can see, it's down almost 10 cents. And when the market opens, anything can happen. It can go up, it can go sideways, it can go down. Although that first candle is going to be very important, because people are going to see a big red candle and they're not going to like it, right? Stock market doesn't care. People don't care. It's how they feel. It's like a random walk through time. So let's say it just stays flat today, down around 10 cents. On Friday, when the distribution gets paid out, the NAV automatically adjusts. Now it's down to 5.62. So it's a full 10 cents below yesterday's close. Or yesterday's aftermarket close. Just going by that. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. But normally, the NAV, the net asset value, will drop by the distribution, which is 10 cents. So if it opens up down 10 cents and we go through the day just flat, then Friday it's going to close, it's going to open another 10 cents down because of the distribution. So it'll be around $5.50. So what the heck am I going to buy 1,000 shares today, or 997 shares? I guess I can transfer and avoid the commission. That's a good idea. Good thing I'm talking to you, because I just thought of something. Because instead of selling it and incurring a commission for the sale in my non-registered account and in my TFSA, which is a registered account, I can just transfer them into my RRSP and save $20 in commissions, right? Because the brokerage I deal with, it's $10 every time you make a trade. So doing these experiments with YieldMax 52 funds that they have, every time I bought into them, it cost me $10. So over $500 to get in. I'm hoping to make it money back, which it doesn't look like, because they just keep going down. And then having to sell them, which what I'll probably do is just transfer the ones I want to keep, and then just bite the bullet, pay the commission, and get out of this. You got to get off the train. The train's crashing. Okay, so did you ever see those movies, Final Destination, whatever? People know that something bad's going to happen, but they still go and do it anyway, right? If I knew a train was crashing Like, if you knew a train was crashing, would you get on the train? Hell no. Heck no. Uh, sorry about, I mean, I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for me. The dreams I had of improving my retirement because I'm on a pension. Uh, and I mean, okay, right? But the dreams that people were pumping on YouTube, not just people, the company's representatives were on YouTube pumping it, talking about, you know, how good you could have it. And I have a lot of hope. I think maybe sometimes too much hope. Because you got to have a balance between hope, unbridled hope, and wisdom and knowledge. Right? So you got to be in balance. Wow. I drank the Kool-Aid, baby. I was like chugging it. I was like, oh, I'm going to Disneyland. But like most things, it don't work out that way. So pre-market does not look good for Ulty or many of the uh, yield max funds. I think the shine has come off. People are starting to realize now. Now, I'm not saying it's a Ponzi scheme. I'm not saying it's a pyramid scheme. Uh, it's a legitimate business. It submitted their prospectuses to the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, and I believe 100% Securities and Exchange Commission are a legitimate organization, and they approve the funds. So it's legit in that sense. But man, it smells like a Ponzi. If it looks like a duck, and it walks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck, and it farts like a duck, it's a duck, right? Man. And it's hard to let go of the dream. It's really hard to let go of the dream. But Ulti's crashing in pre-market. I mean, it all depends on what you think a crash is. I think down almost 2% in pre-market. Wait till all the gaggle of geese on the open market get their hands on it, because everybody knows tomorrow is payday and the NAV's going to drop by 10 cents. Whatever they distribute comes off the NAV. It comes right off the NAV. So everybody knows that, subconsciously or consciously. And for me, from what I understand, from what I've seen, in the forced liquidation, it went down to $4.59. I'm going to wait till around $4.50, $4.60 before looking at it again. But as far as I'm concerned, today I'm just going to transfer those 6 shares over, because it'll result in like if I take something from my non-registered account and even my registered account at TFSA, if I transferred into my registered retirement plan, it's a tax deduction. They've been charging me taxes for no good reason, so it's a way of getting some of the taxes back, right? Keep your head up, man. This is not a good ride. This train, in my opinion, is going off the tracks and it's going to crash into the side of a mountain, or it's going off the bridge, or it's chaos. It's absolute chaos. And I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So, you do you. I'm not a financial advisor. You research, you figure it out, you talk to a financial advisor, and you do you. You make your own decisions. But for me, I ain't getting on that train, and whatever foot that I have on the first rung, I'm getting off that train. Have a great day.